Today I'll be talking to you about climate change, which has a very extensive history. Climate change is a natural, reoccurring phenomenon. It's not something that just started happening. But many things that we find necessary for everyday life in order to keep our adapted quality of life are contributing to this problem, such as driving cars, keeping lights on, our expectations of everyday convenience. These convenience expectations, like not going somewhere to recycle. A lot of places where recycling is available are farther away. You have to travel there rather than, you can just throw your trash to the curb. In many places, you can't just throw your recycling to the curb, and that's a problem for a lot of people. Also, having bulk produce and meats available in stores is also contributing to this problem. You want to just go to a grocery store, be able to pick up some lettuce or some tomatoes or a bunch of beef. But the agricultural techniques that are used to produce these bulk quantities of these products are hurting our planet. Going along with that, consumerism also contributes. Factories used to create consumer goods release a lot of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Many of the materials used to create these consumer goods are recyclable, but people aren't recycling, so we're having to use excess energy, which produces even more greenhouse gases, to create more of those materials. A lot of people also believe that climate change is just global warming. It's not. Yes, the planet is getting warmer, but this changes a lot more than just the seasons. And warmer winter isn't the only thing that's happening. A lot of animals that need traditional northern climates are moving farther north as the planet warms, because those normal northern climates are becoming more like southern climates, and it's just kind of moving up. But what happens when there's no more north to go? Polar bears live in the farthest north, where, although it's still cold, it's warming enough for the ice caps to melt. This is destroying their habitat, but they have nowhere to go. They rely on these ice caps for food, for shelter, to be able to rest. Yeah, they're really good swimmers, but you can't just swim forever. They're not fish. How extensive is this problem? It's a big problem. The ice caps are melting, pollution is worsening, the ozone layer is depleting, which the ozone layer, we've actually gotten a lot better with that, and it is actually healing a lot, but it's still hurting. This isn't an issue that's just now popping up. It's been going on for decades. It just wasn't noticed as much until it worsened to the point that it has been recently. It was noticed by a lot of scientists and a lot of people focused in that area, but a lot of just mainstream media, mainstream people didn't know that it was happening, or didn't believe it, so they didn't think about it or didn't post anything about it or whatever. Some causes of this problem, one of the main ones is pollution, like from cars, factories, lights, and agriculture, as well as deforestation, are the biggest. Releasing as much CO2 into the atmosphere as we are causes the natural greenhouse effect to intensify, which heats the Earth to unnatural levels and destroys the protective ozone layer. Some effects of this are that warming the Earth causes the ice caps to melt, which endanger the lives of species, such as polar bears, that rely on those ice caps, as well as making the sea levels rise, which can, and will, flood and destroy coast-dwelling civilizations. The changes in the climate means to the weather, which contributes to more and more tropical storms, like the many huge hurricanes we experienced just recently in 2017. Many more of those tropical storms will be happening. They'll be much more catastrophic, and it's not going to be good. The symptoms of global warming have turned into the aforementioned effects. If we'd paid attention and taken heed to scientists' warnings sooner, we would have seen the beginnings of these effects and been able to better prevent the changes we now see happening. As of right now, we don't have any solutions to reverse the damage we have done, but we do have some things we can do to prevent further damage, such as finding alternate energy sources. According to an article titled 10 Climate Solutions That Will Help Us Fight Back, posted by the Environmental Defense Fund, power plants are the leading cause of carbon dioxide emissions. Finding alternate energy sources would mean we would have less use for power plants, therefore we'd be putting much, much less CO2 into the atmosphere. Finding alternate energy sources for gasoline would also lower the amount of greenhouse gas pollution, and people wouldn't have to give up their independence and convenience by taking public transportation, carpooling, or choosing to bike or walk instead of drive. Another solution we have is recycling. As stated previously, many materials, plastics, glass, paper, can be recycled and reused to make consumer items such as water bottles, glass bottles, newspapers, etc. Creating these materials from scratch not only depletes natural resources from the earth, but it adds to the amount of pollution being emitted into the atmosphere from factories. Some obstacles that may keep us from reaching a solution are, the biggest one probably, people still don't believe that climate change is happening, so they won't change their ways to help reverse it or prevent further changes. According to a study done by Yale University in 2006, about 69% of the American pollution still did not believe in climate change, and only 52% of those people believed that the rapid climate change we're experiencing is due to human activities. It's crazy to me how even with all the evidence backing global warming, so many people still don't believe in it, or at least don't believe it's a real issue, or that we are causing it. If people don't believe that climate change is real, they won't be motivated to make the small, possibly inconvenient changes in their lives that would help slow the effects. Slowing the effects isn't a permanent solution, but it can give scientists more time to come up with a more permanent solution. With that being said, there may not be a permanent solution. There are a lot of things that we have done on Earth that may not be reversible. We might not be able to fix all the damage that we have done. But if there is a permanent solution, it would require drastic changes in everyday lifestyle, which many people are not likely to want to do. So we do have options here with global warming. We have lots of information and we're continuing to gain information. The biggest thing is getting people to believe in it and getting people to be willing to make the changes that are necessary.